Listen and practice.
Irene is 4 years old. She is very smart. She observes everything. Her mom is going to have a baby. One day, her mom asked her, "Irene, do you want a baby sister? You are too lonely." "No," Irene replied. "How about a baby brother?" Mom asked. "No," Irene replied again. "Why? Wouldn't you like to have a sister or brother to play with?" Mom asked again. "I would want to play with my sister or brother, but I just wouldn't want your belly to explode. You will feel so much pain. It's getting so big and round," Irene said. Mom laughed. "Don't worry, my belly won't explode. Why don't we ask Dad to give birth to the baby? He is big and strong," Irene asked. Dad started laughing too. "I'm a man, and men can't do that."
Listen and practice.
Do you enjoy walking on the beach and collecting seashells? I do. Recently, my parents took me down south over the Christmas holidays. We had a wonderful time on a small southern island. When we left Canada, the temperature was -20 degrees Celsius. When we landed at the airport on the island, it was +30 degrees. Yes, we had leaped from winter to summer in just 5 hours. After we checked in at our hotel, we all ran to see the ocean. Amazing! The waves were racing one after another towards the shore. As the water drew away, it left in front of us beautiful shells, shells in various shapes, colors, and sizes. I bent down to pick some up. Soon we had a pile of seashells on the beach. Looking at the seashells, my dad said that each shell showed us a life in the ocean. Imagine how much life there is under the ocean's surface.
Listen and practice.
It was late fall. We were eating dinner. Suddenly, we heard a loud bang. A little bird flew right to the window and then fell to the ground. We ran outside and saw that it was a baby crow. It was alive, but one wing was not moving. It could not fly. My dad picked up the bird. We put it in a box for the night. That one night turned into many nights. We named the bird Max. Max became very friendly to us. He took food from our hands. After a few weeks, his wing healed. Then one day, he flew away. Now, every time I see a crow, I wonder, is that Max? Maybe he will come back for a visit one day.
Listen and practice.
Frank was a fish. He had a good fish life, but he wasn't happy with it. All day he would sit and watch the birds in the air fly from tree to tree. Frank wanted to be a bird, not a fish. Frank swam as fast as he could go through the water and leapt into the air. He felt just like a flying bird until he realized that he was having trouble breathing. He landed back in the water just as he was gasping for his last breath. That was strange, he thought. He jumped into the air again, but this time he got caught in a low branch by the river. He was in a tree like a bird, but he couldn't breathe. He regretted trying to be a bird and struggled to wiggle free. Plop! Frank landed back in the water. After a few minutes, he caught his breath. He swam straight home and vowed to be the best fish he could be.
Listen and practice.
One day at school, we had a class project. Each student had to make a little house out of wooden sticks. But instead of making my house, I talked to my friends for most of the class. The class ended, but I didn't finish my work. My teacher told me to take the sticks home and finish my house for homework. I took the sticks home. I glued them together to make a house. There, it's done. I left my house at the corner of the room to dry. When I woke up the next morning, my stick house was broken into pieces. I was surprised and upset. I looked at the sticks. They had tooth marks on them. They were my dog's. My dog actually ate my homework. I got 0 out of 10 on my stick house project.
Listen and practice.
It was Mother's Day. My uncle's restaurant was very busy. It seemed that every family took their mother out to eat that day. My uncle called me from the restaurant. "Henry, people are lining up outside," he said. "Can you come to help out?" "Sure." I stopped playing my computer game and went to the restaurant with my brother. All we had to do was bring food and water to the tables and take the dirty dishes away when the customers were finished eating. The chefs and their helpers worked like crazy. The kitchen manager called out the orders. The kitchen helpers ran to get things in place. The chefs worked like magic, turning meats and vegetables into delicious food in just minutes. I don't remember how many times I brought things in and out through that kitchen door. I just remember that at the end of the day, my legs were very sore. I was really tired. The next day, I told my friends. It felt like I walked all the way from Ottawa to Montreal.
Listen and practice.
Whales are big animals, really big. Some whales are bigger than elephants. One kind of whale is actually the biggest animal in the world. Whales swim in water. Fish swim in water too, but whales are not fish. Fish can breathe underwater, but whales have to come up to the surface of the water to breathe. Whales can talk to each other. They have a special language. People cannot understand whale talk, but whales understand each other. Today, people are trying to help the whales. There are not many places left in the world where whales can live safely. The oceans are dirty. There are many bad things in the oceans. Whales are getting sick. That's why people are helping them. What can you do to help the whales? Tell people how special whales are. Tell people not to put garbage in the oceans.
Listen and practice.
There are only 26 letters in the English alphabet. It must be an easy language to learn, right? Well, ask anyone who has mastered English, and they'll tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. Although English has only 26 letters, you can make many words with those letters. In fact, English has more words than any other language in the world. How many? About 800,000 words. Give or take a few hundred. English words can be as short as just one letter. The shortest sentence in English is only one word. What is it? Go. This next sentence uses all 26 letters of the alphabet. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. If you are learning English, don't give up. Dig in and enjoy.
Listen and practice.
The world's oldest universities. Many universities around the world are proud to have long histories and strong traditions. However, very few universities can claim to be among the oldest in the world. Nalanda University in Bihar, India, was established around 600 BC. It was most likely the world's first university. In the past, scholars came from Europe, China, and all over India to learn about science, medicine, the Buddhist religion, and other subjects. The university is in ruins now, but at one time it was an impressive school with temples, classrooms, libraries, and dormitories. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the University of Al-Qarawiyyin in Fez, Morocco, is the oldest surviving university in the world. It was probably founded in 859 and became a famous place to study natural sciences. In 1957, after more than 1,000 years as a university, Al-Qarawiyyin added mathematics, physics, chemistry, and various foreign languages to its traditional list of subjects for study. The first university in Europe is definitely the University of Bologna in Italy. It was one of the few universities in Europe that were not influenced by religion. Professors were forbidden from teaching outside the university, and so students came from all over Europe to study with its famous teachers. Since opening in 1088, the University of Bologna has never closed its doors, despite the many wars in Europe. With the success of the University of Bologna, other universities opened across Europe. They were started by kings, religious groups, and former professors. Today, there are so many universities that students don't need to go far to study. They are sure to find one close to home.
Listen and practice.
Do you want to be a famous writer? I do. That's right. I love writing. When our teacher asked us what we wanted to be, many kids said they wanted to be doctors or police officers. But I said, I want to be a writer, a famous writer. Everyone laughed. They didn't believe me. But then our teacher told us a story about a famous writer. His name was Rudyard Kipling. He wrote many great books. Even today, people all over the world love his stories. When Mr. Kipling was just a young man, he got a job at a newspaper. But his boss didn't like his stories. He sent him a letter saying, "I'm sorry, Mr. Kipling, you don't know how to use the English language. This isn't a kindergarten for amateur writers." But Mr. Kipling didn't stop writing. He went on to become the most popular writer of his generation. So, I am going to keep trying. It's always better to believe in yourself and follow your dreams.